fellow Yinzers in Pittsburgh and beyond, and welcome to episode 3 of Yins Are Good. I am your host, Tressa Glover, and I'm so happy to have you listening, and I hope you're well. Now, off the bat, I should mention, you may remember, back in episode 1, way back in episode 1, I mentioned the goal was to release an episode every 2 weeks. And you may have noticed, you may have done the math. We are a little bit over that at 3 weeks here. And my apologies, but an explanation is to follow. We basically have had a lull in receiving stories from you all. And it's okay. This is part of the program here, so to speak. Something we knew may happen, especially as we're just, getting all of this going here and getting up on our feet. So I wanted to give it a little more time to see if some stories came in. So that was why we have the delay here. I'm happy to say we have a story or two, but also we have a follow-up with our friends La Teresa and Michael Blackwell of Cafe on the Corner. Oh, I did in fact go, and my husband Don joined me. I had to get that gumbo. And we had just a terrific time. And also, we learned more about Kitchen of Grace, which is the nonprofit arm of their business there of Cafe on the Corner. And so you're going to hear just some incredible words and some credible information about what they're doing there with that. So that is coming up for you as well. But we need some stories. So, as a friendly reminder, if you want to call, phone number is 1-833-399-GOOD, or email us at yinsaregood, that's spelling out the whole title, at gmail.com. And remember, obviously, stories, of times when someone changed your life, changed your day, changed your perspective. Any of these things are good. Any of these things work. We're just trying to share all of this with each other. All of this good news, right? Celebrate all the good stuff that is happening out there. And I actually have a story to share. It just happened this morning, as a matter of fact, before I began recording this episode. I was at the park with our dog, and this is a small park not far from where we live, and we go there pretty often. And so we were there, and this has a small parking lot, and especially now with the number of people working from home, it's not unusual to see maybe every once in a while, someone in their car and you can hear that they're on a conference call, right, on speakerphone, so you can hear muffled, but voices happening, right? So it's not odd to see that from time to time. And so we had been there, I don't know, not even 10 minutes, walking around, and there, were several cars in the parking lot. And this young woman comes out of the park, and we said hellos, and she had 2 little dogs with her, and she gets into her car. And as she drives away, she pulls up maybe within 8-10 feet of us and says, "Your dog's adorable, by the way." But I just wanted to let you know that there's been a guy sitting in one of the cars, and he's been there for a while, and he's not doing anything. He's just staring into the park, and it seems like he's watching people. And I just wanted to let you know so that you could keep your eyes open and be aware of that. And I said, "Thank you so much." And I knew what car she was talking about. She explained. And I said, "Wow, thank you so much." She said, "Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that." And then she drove off. And I was struck by, well, first, being very grateful that she was giving me, this heads up regarding this potentially perhaps dangerous person, of course. But also I was struck by, she was looking out for me, a complete stranger. And how we all need to look out for each other, especially as women, but all of us. We all need to take care of each other. In that moment, I felt cared for by someone I had never met. And it makes me want to pay that forward. It makes me want to be sure that I'm doing that for other people. And now we have a story from Nancy from Dormont. Yes, the same Nancy from episode 1. She actually sent us another story. I love it. You may remember Nancy's first story was about meeting her husband's family and they're making the dinner. And so she sent us this one. So here again, Nancy from Dormont.
When I was in the third grade, the instrumental music teacher for our school district, Mr. Jerry Reed, brought the high school band to our elementary school to play a concert for us. I realize now that this was to introduce us to the instruments and the program, and to encourage us to participate in instrumental music the following school year. The year was 1958, and our elementary school had a large dedicated auditorium with stage and lighting and a main drape and legs. The arts were an important part of education in those days. The ensemble filled the stage, their chairs and their music stands all beautifully arranged in a semicircle, with Mr. Reed as the conductor on a podium in the center. The boys were dressed formally in black pants and white shirts with a black tie. The girls wore black skirts, white tops, and black flats or very low dress heels and nylons. They all looked so professional and so grown up. And then they played, and my life changed. I heard each instrument singing, playing, accompanying, and complimenting, soloing and mingling, their beautiful and fascinating sounds, all playing together as one big, important sound. I could not speak. I could not think. I could only be transported to a world where I could fly and float, where everything was beautiful and everything made sense. And I have never returned from that moment.
A beautiful story, Nancy. Thank you so much for sharing it with all of us. And thank you to Mr. Jerry Reed, the instrumental music teacher mentioned in it. And I'd also like to thank the young woman from earlier today with the two adorable little dogs, whose name I didn't catch. Thank you. Yins are good. And that sound means it is time for Name That Neighborhood, our friendly Pittsburgh neighborhood quiz. This episode, however, a variation. It is Name That Neighborhood True or False edition. I have, though, brought back for you the one and only Don DiGiulio, my husband. Don, welcome.
Hello, Tressa. It's great to be back yet again.
How are you feeling about this, your third time?
I feel pretty good. Pretty solid track record so far. So if hopefully we can keep that party rolling.
Yeah. I believe you're 8 for 9, which is pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. Pretty impressive. So just take a moment here to explain exactly what this new version is. So, because we had, our story from Nancy from Dormont, and no offense to Dormont, of course, but I thought, well, you know what? Since we've talked about that neighborhood a little bit just in that first episode, let's focus on the North Side, which is, of course, where Cafe on the Corner is. And if we focus on that, let's make it a true-false situation. So I'm going to throw just 3 true or false questions at you, and let's see how you do.
I can't wait.
Yes, none of us can. Let's get started. All right. Oh, and I do just want to note, for those who may not know, but the North Side is actually made up of more than a dozen contiguous neighborhoods. And Don, you're familiar with that idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
The North Side. All right. With that said, number 1. The North Side neighborhood of Manchester houses the largest historic district in Pittsburgh. True or false?
True.
You're right.
Woohoo!
Starting off strong. It's true.
Go with my gut.
So Manchester is actually filled with early 19th century Victorian style houses, and it is mainly a residential area. So the largest historic district in Pittsburgh, right there in Manchester.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 2. True or false? The first World Series was played at Exposition Park in the North Side in 1903.
False.
Oh, it's true.
I knew. See, yeah. I should have trusted my gut on that one.
Yeah, you went against the gut. It's true. So that first World Series ever was played by the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Boston Americans, now known, of course, as the Boston Red Sox. Pittsburgh Pirates in the World Series.
I think that's probably why I had such a trouble believing that would be true.
That's fair. I could give you a half point on that one. That's fair.
Yeah, I think the city of Pittsburgh should get a half point for their current state of their Pittsburgh Pirates.
And number 3. Gus and Yaya's Ice Ball Stand sells fresh popcorn, peanuts, old-fashioned ice balls, which are similar to snow cones. Has been in West Park since 1964.
Oh, and I've actually gotten a snow cone from there, but I've...
Oh.
True.
Oh, it's false.
I knew you were gonna trick me on this one.
This is a tricky one because the year is what's false. So, you know what I mean? And of course, that'd be tricky. So
You're a little too sneaky.
I am. It's actually been around since 1934.
Oh, wow.
Right? So Gus and Yaya's Ice Ball Stand. So the current owner is Gus Kalaris. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, please someone let me know. And the cart was bought by his father in 1934. When his father died in 1951, Gus took over. And he is now 88 years old. He is still going strong, running the operations there. And the name, the name Yaya comes from the Greek term yaya, meaning grandmother. Yeah, so Gus and Yaya. So I've actually never had an ice ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they are, I mean, it really is kind of somewhat of a Pittsburgh landmark, right? Did you enjoy?
Yeah, they were delicious. Yep.
Oh, nice. So 1934.
Wow.
Yeah. This was a noble attempt, I think, for you. True false is tough.
True false is tough, and you worded the questions skillfully. So hats off to you, Quizmaster.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Sure, true and false was not my strong suit this day.
No, it wasn't. But thank you for playing.
Sure, it's always a pleasure to be here. True or false? I have a choice in the matter.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome. Bye.
And now it's time to follow up with our friends at Cafe on the Corner in the North Side, La Teresa and Michael Blackwell. We're going to learn about their Kitchen of Grace, their nonprofit that is connected to their organization. Now, as you may recall, in the last episode, I did let them know that we would be by to try their world-famous gumbo, and we did earlier this week. And when we got there, Michael was there, but La Teresa was not. She was at work. So he called her at work, and she said she would do everything she could to pop over to see us. And in the meantime, Michael began giving us a tour of the space and explaining to us all the work they had done to turn it into the cafe that it is now.
This was a 3-car garage.
Oh.
We took and we converted it into a commercial kitchen.
Oh, wow.
So we turned it. So this was nothing. It was shells and dirt and mess, and we brought in and we turned this into a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
With a walk-in pool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's my wife.
Hello.
I said, oh no, he's not going to get all the fun. I said, I'm running up there.
So we turned this into a commercial kitchen.
Yeah. And once the tour was done, we got to talking about their cafe and then, as I mentioned, Kitchen of Grace. Now, I do want to mention specifically about the sound quality on this segment and actually for the sound for the podcast in general. I am working on it as far as levels go, and I hope it's getting better. But this segment in particular, we were in the cafe, and in the one dining area, they have TVs, and The Price is Right was on in the background. And, of course, because of COVID restrictions, we stayed at least 6 feet apart from each other. We all had masks on, so, you know, there were some obstacles here. But I wanted to explain, you're going to hear some dinging and some Price is Right sounds in the background. And also, of course, as luck would have it, they were doing some work on the side of the building. But I think the quality as far as hearing everything that they have to say is still pretty good. So here they are, Michael and La Teresa.
We had a community blackout about, 3 years ago?
No, it wasn't that long, about 2 years, maybe a year and a half or something.
And it was in the winter. And a lot of our elderly had nowhere to go. They have shelters all around the city, but nothing up here. My wife and I, we invested and got 2 generators, and now this is a warming center.
Oh my God.
In case the lights go out again.
Yeah.
This is a cooling center in case the lights go out.
I mean, there's a lot going on. We're a community hub, is what I like to call Cafe on the Corner. My husband and I live 2 blocks away, so as you can see, I flew up here.
I know, you're like, oh yeah, she's here.
Yep, so we live here, and we see it, we hear it, we feel it. So we're in it. We're in the trenches, as they would say. We're in the trenches with our neighborhood. So we have to do what's best for them because we know what they need, because we need it too. So, you know, this corner is a lot of where our young people catch the bus for school, get off the bus, and so you see a lot of mischief, fighting. And with me and my husband living here, we see these kids getting on and off the bus, and so when there's a fight ensuing out there, we go outside and we can break them up. They see a black couple that looks like them. There's a trust factor there, right? So because we've seen that and the kids started wandering into the cafe, we said we need something that is more structural for the kids to give them something to do. And so we started Kitchen of Grace. And Kitchen of Grace is a part of the arm from the cafe into the community that reaches at-risk youth. And so we opened up this space to bring our young people in off of the streets and teach them a skill. They get more than culinary skills. They get hard skills, soft skills, things that they need to take them from here to there. So we offer them basic skills, just how to say hello, how to say thank you. We think those things are just something that naturally comes or should come to you, but it is a taught skill for our young people, and they're intimidated by people that don't look like them. So we allow for them to have this as a space for them. And we're equipping and empowering and encouraging our young people to be who they are. Bring your talents. You'll be surprised of how much talent and abilities these kids have. So we help, if you want to go to college or post-secondary education, we help them to take that path. Some kids want to go into a trade. We help them get to that. Or some people just want to be in the food industry or whatever direction they want. We give them the basic skills here to branch in any direction they want. And these are skills that they can have for the rest of their life, right? And we offer a $1,200 stipend for the kids that go through the 16-week training.
Wow.
And we help them open up a savings account at West Banco down on Brighton Road. We help them get an account. They go through a 6-week financial literacy just to learn basic math, how to balance a checkbook, how to be responsible borrowers, you know, because I know for myself, we're just learning how to be good users of credit. You know what I mean? That was not something that you learned. And they have, you know, they have to do different type of role model or role plays for financial literacy just to learn how to do that. They go through mock interviews of how to interview. They have to come in dressed and prepared for an interview. They prepare resumes. They learn how to go out and seek for professional references and what those references are to look like. So we try to cover a lot of area that we as adults have become so far removed from. But you got to get in it with the kids, and you got to have an ear to hear them. And we have welcomed them. We started what is called a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths, weakness, and opportunities and threats of your area, surrounding area? And they play a huge part in how we shape or continue to shape the program. They know what the strengths are. And as adults, we can't be offended by what we see. If they point out a weakness in us, we cannot be offended by that. They see the opportunities. They know what's best for them. So they bring the opportunities and they know their threats. So we invite them. This is a platform for them to have a voice. There's so much going on. I just sit here all day because that's where our mission is, to create peace and healing in our community by hiring and raising up indigenous leaders. You know, what people look at in our community, they look down their noses at a lot of the young people, or they count them out, or they, you know, as I was growing up, you stay in a young folks' place. You know, you don't speak until you're spoken to, and so a lot of times, you know, as we were growing up, we weren't assertive. We allow our young people to be assertive. We allow them to speak up. We allow them to voice their ideas or their feelings or their opinion.
There's so much. We have to sit for hours, and I'll just eat gumbo the whole time.
Now you're gonna have to come back in the afternoon when we got soul food.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because that's like our dinner menu.
Okay.
Barbecued ribs and barbecue chicken and greens and macaroni and cheese and yams.
Oh, you'll eat all the macaroni and cheese.
But the gumbo is in
Oh my gosh.
the menu in your bag.
We're gonna eat it like in the car. Are we gonna make it home?
I have to drive.
I know, you have to drive. Oh, scooting it in your face. We had such a good time with La Teresa and Michael, and such a good talk, and left just so inspired by them and the work that they're doing. And the gumbo. Oh my, the gumbo. You gotta go is really all I can say. But also I want to say, I think maybe they were bearing the lead a little bit, because Don, unbeknownst to me, grabbed some peach cobbler and also a slice of sweet potato pie. Oh my, and I am known to have a sweet tooth from time to time. Oh my gosh, just so good. So we definitely look forward to seeing them again and ordering more food from them as well. And that is going to do it for us here for episode 3. Again, thank you all so much for listening. And remember, please send us your stories, 1-833-399-GOOD, or yinsaregood@gmail.com. So until next time, be safe, be kind, be good. Thank you to Nancy and to La Teresa and Michael Blackwell, to Mike Rubino for our fabulous artwork, and of course to Don DiGiulio.